Welcome into 11 Personnel. I'm Nick Roush. He's Adam Luckett, and we are live at SEC Media Days in Atlanta. And if this doesn't look like Media Days, it's because they did not have a press conference back there, Adam Luckett. That was actually the fridge where we were watching 11 Personnel last night.
KSR couch.
On the KSR
11
couch.
Personnel from the KSR couch.
Near where we got the EA Sports College Football. We got a little gaming in. We found out a fridge can play TV, play the YouTubes. You should be watching and subscribed on YouTube. If you're not, what the hell's wrong with you? If you are, thank you, because you helped get us to 50,000 subscribers. It's well appreciated. Mr. Peak appreciates it. We appreciate our friends of Cole for helping us get here to Atlanta for SEC Media Days. And feels like a lot happened over the first 38 hours. First 38?
Get it out there.
Yeah, that's where I'm at that point of the day. The words aren't working. So this is going to get a little silly. But we had some silliness today. What do you think the silliest thing that's happened so far, Mr. Luckett?
I think you made a good point earlier, how we don't get to, walk in the water. We jump right in.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't get the 3 teams on the first day anymore where it's stretched out a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
It's just boom, 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 boom.
Drinking from a fire hose.
So you're drinking, right. That's what I was getting at. You're drinking from a fire hose. And what did you ask me? I already forgot.
Silliest thing in the first 2 days. Was it Arch? Just all of the people losing their minds over Arch?
I would say just the Lane Hugh Freeze thing. And Hugh Freeze tried to play it off today, and it's a friend of the program, Connor O'Gara, was finally, stepped up and asked him the question, and he pretty much said, "I'm not gonna defend it." He pretty much said, "Screw all y'all, I'm playing golf."
I like to play golf. It's not messing with my coaching,
which I respect. But that was definitely. That was a silly thing coming into the.
Oh yeah, I loved every minute of it.
Even though I think both guys kind of threw some water on it.
Yeah. That was just one of the things I appreciated that when Steve Sarkisian stepped on the stage today. He looks like a Sark. He doesn't look like a Sarkisian
or Steve.
No,
I would feel weird calling him Steve.
The way he talks, he's got real high-pitched talk. It's just no, that's Sark.
And he did the weird fashion thing. No socks and a suit.
All right. So is it just suit is weird? You can do no socks with...
Yeah, you can. You got to wear socks if you're wearing a suit, in my opinion. I mean, what do I know, but...
Right. And I'm with you, but I see all the time guys just going for it, wearing their loafers with longer pants, and that's not Which
I say that there's Air Maxes and Jordans being worn with suits all day. Hugh Freeze, Josh Heupel, all of them had sneakers on with a suit. So I think that fits better than the no socks. The no socks thing is kind of weird to me.
Especially if you're in Texas, that's hot as hell. He's gonna have some stinky shoes.
I mean, when he takes the Tacovas out. No socks in the Tacovas? What's going on here? Can you trust a man who doesn't wear socks with his cowboy boots?
Well, maybe you trust him more because you know that he doesn't give a damn, right? He's just going out. He's putting in the work. But it was very amusing when he took to the stage and they play fight songs, right? Because journalists, we don't clap. We are objective. We are never going to support the coaches. We're going to ask them hard-hitting questions. So they it's really awkward. It's silent. So they play the fight songs to kind of break that up a little bit, which I enjoy. But they played the A&M fight song. They played the Aggie War Hymn. I believe that's what it's called.
Right.
And it is when you hear it, you immediately think Texas A&M. But that is their thing. It reminds me a lot of the band in Animal House at the very end. I think they sound kind of similar. They're different, but kind of similar. But the Texas coach gets introduced via the A&M song, and what did Billy Lucci do to get that to happen?
I saw Josh Pate had a good tweet. I don't know how he was like, I don't know how you pulled this off, but
I know that you did pull it off.
You did pull it off.
that was great. That was silly. There's a lot more silliness to get to, a lot more serious stuff. We're going to talk schedule because you got to talk schedule. Maybe dabble in some expansion and much, much more. But I do want to tell you about our friends at Monticello Bank, proud presenting sponsors of 11 Personnel. They've been with us the whole way. They're here with us at SEC Media Days as well, where you're going to get the local touch, the local experience with Monticello Bank. They're going to take good care of you. You're in good hands at Monticello Bank. It's where people matter. Check out their HELOC special right now. You want to do something around the house or I don't know. It's just having the home equity line of credit like it. Never done it, but if I did do it, I would go to Monticello Bank because they've got the best rates. Bank local, bank with Monticello Bank. NBCBank.com. Monticello Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. They got locations all over the state too. Like, and I think we might be popping into a few.
I was getting ready to say, I think we have some plans to get to a branch in August, so we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, really appreciate everything Monticello Bank does. 411 personnel. Now, are we going to get silly or serious first? Maybe we start serious and get that out of the way, because I don't know how much longer
let me say this. The Beamer-Bielema rivalry kind of got reignited a little bit today. Because
those two belong together.
There were 3 rule changes that were kind of discussed.
Mm-hmm.
One was pretty much a shot at Lane Kiffin about the injuries. So basically, once you run, guys tackled, referee goes to set the ball. If you fall down after they set the ball, it's gonna cost you a timeout.
Yeah.
Now I didn't see it specified, like what happens if you're out of timeouts. So maybe that's like a 15-yard, but that's going to cost you a timeout now. So that was interesting. Everyone's seen the highlight of the Ole Miss Kentucky game where Dart points to the running back Matt Jones and he just falls down and Ole Miss essentially gets a timeout. That was a big one, and then the other one, I'm trying to think there was 3 of them. The other one,
the big one that Kirby didn't like is the shift before the
there's
play.
the defensive shifts.
So if your defensive lineman, they will do the thing where they hop into different gaps right before the snap's called, which smart strategy, but they're saying that it's simulating movement to try to draw offense off sides.
And simulating the snap count too when they're moving, they're making sounds.
So that will be a delay of game call, 5-yard penalty if you
defense.
do that. Yeah. Which I don't know. I kind of like that. Like it, the gamesmanship behind it. And now, if you get somebody jumping, if I'm a center, I snap the ball right away. You got a free play. You know, but that could start becoming a thing, kind of like how you will see it.
Like, what's the collateral damage of that?
Right. Because you see it now in the pros when they're drawing guys off sides, and then they all start pointing fingers. I think that may become a thing.
And the other one was for defensive subs. So everyone knows when offensive subs and they're no huddle, the ref stands over the ball, the defense can match the subs. And we've seen, and I think Kentucky has leaned into this at certain times, going out slow. Right? Yeah. Taking their time getting out there, taking their time getting off the field. We're now, they're calling this, in quotes, athletic pace. If you're not moving at athletic pace, which sounds kind of very subjective, you're going to get penalized. It feels like a thing you'll probably be warned about.
Yeah.
And so that was a big thing. And then the other one is the T-bar.
Oh, yeah.
And basically, the Bielema-Beamer tiff was over the T-bar.
At Gator Bowl?
At the Gator Bowl. Mm-hmm. And that's what Bielema was doing in Shane Beamer's face. And then when Bielema walked away, Shane Beamer got all mad like he was going to fight.
He got so mad.
And so that was basically what South Carolina was doing, and I kind of found this out today. They were doing that and then returning kicks. Because that's seen as kind of the universal message of stop. So Beamer had a quote today. And Bielema kind of talked about this after the game. But Beamer had a quote today from our good friends at Gamecock Central. I think he said this in his local scrum. Okay.
Well, it wouldn't be... He didn't go today, though.
Or I guess yesterday. I just found it today.
Oh, yeah, he did. Oh, gosh, the days. They're running together.
There have also been some changes doing to the T signal in the end zone. What are your thoughts on that? That's a signal for the return team, to the return team. So it is what it is. This is my favorite. I'm not going to make a big deal about it, but then guess what he does? He's going to make a big deal about it. But I hate to see that something it wasn't trying to bend the rules. I would beg to differ. It wasn't a rule, and it was something that, we tried to take advantage of and thinking the other team might stop running, and they did. We don't coach our team to stop running in that instance, but we'll figure it out. We're always going to be on the cutting edge and stay ahead of things at South Carolina
Mr.
from a special team standpoint and figure out what the best way was. So that was, to me, the substitution was kind of part of the Citrus Bowl because Illinois was doing that to South Carolina. And then this was, like the Citrus Bowl was a monumental game in a lot of ways last year. It gave us a great viral moment, and it gave us like some rule changes. And so for me, that was kind of an interesting part. Really what I learned about the rule changes today, and then you dig in what Beamer said yesterday.
We need these guys in a bowl game again. It'll be like Kentucky and Iowa playing every year in a bowl game. Let's run it back.
Yeah,
Get Beamer and Bielema.
This was not the fight we thought we needed, but this is the gift that keeps on giving.
Who would have thought that Shane Beamer would be mixing it up in Atlanta? Huh? War of words? Never seen that before. Never seen that happen before. The news that impacts you and I and everybody here a little bit more though than anything is SEC schedule talk, which, stop me if you've heard that before. Schedule talk. But when the commissioner spoke and he gave his long diatribe, that's like 5th on his priority list. There's a lot of different things to hit. College football playoff expansion, house settlement, 25, 78-year-olds getting waivers for their 5th and 6th year of college eligibility. It was a laundry list of things, but the SEC schedule, it's involved in all of it. And the reason why it's a big deal here is because Kentucky, they led the charge. They whipped together a coalition at the spring meetings a couple of years ago to preserve the 8-game SEC schedule. It's under the guise of we want to protect the Louisville rivalry, which is true. Stoops really wants to play them. Those wins have meant a lot for him and his relationship with the fan base and his success at Kentucky. But the other part of it is, you go to 9, they might be getting rid of that Louisville game. You don't want to play 10 power conference opponents. And Sankey pretty much flat out said, you don't think our schedule's hard? Nobody's going to trade schedules with us. Besides, all of our guys are already playing 9 power conference games. Does it really matter if we have to do this? And I think the most noteworthy item he said, and the reason why it's noteworthy is because the 2 years that they agreed to are about to be up. So they have to start moving
They
forward.
don't have a 2026 model set.
Exactly.
yet.
So they need to get it set in stone. And I don't have the direct quote pulled up, but essentially said, how they bake in strength of schedule into the selection committee's process will weigh heavily on our decision making. AKA, you give us more credit for playing a tough schedule, or we're just not going to do this to ourselves.
And it's specifically tied to like the playoff expansion, because a bargaining chip, I think, for the other leagues is like, we'll do whatever, but we want the SEC to play 9 games, and the SEC is not like, we're not going to be bullied at the negotiation table. And so that's just kind of where they stand, and I think they're all like kind of in alignment now, where I don't think that was ever really the case. But as of right now, I would suspect that they're going to play 8 games in 2026. Like, I think there's a scenario now where we have a 12-team format again in 26.
Yeah.
And the SEC has an 8-game schedule.
That part was, the ebbs and flows happen so much in this sort of politicking game that they're doing right now. And when Sankey said, we've got a format, we can keep playing it. We have the right to change it, but we've got one right now. We can just stick with it. That's more posturing than I'm used to seeing from him. Oh man! And then my mind went blank.
It happens, but I think in the short term, that is the big thing we're going to find out, because they're going to have to make a declaration here soon, one way or the other, what they're doing in 2026. And it doesn't sound like they're close in the playoff. It's going to be interesting to see what Petitti says next week in Vegas, the Big Ten commissioner.
Oh, when I think of Big Ten, Las Vegas.
I'm jealous. I wish we could do any of the days in Las Vegas. But if he's still stubborn on this kind of playing game model, which it sounds like he is. I believe he just went on Joe Klatt's podcast and still talked about how that was their preferred kind of structure. If that still happens, then you feel like they're just kind of have some more fighting going on in a boardroom. And so then you might see the 12 and the SEC's model extend a year. And you're right, for the Louisville game, to me it's pretty simple. They go to 9, they're not playing the Louisville game. If they go to 8, they'll keep playing it.
Yeah. And the other part because that is Kentucky's secondary rival, right? And a lot of the reason why 9 makes sense is because it's easier to preserve. It's easier to preserve your secondary rivals. Well, not in Kentucky's case, but for the rest of the league, then you can play your other 2 rivalry games or whatever on an annual basis. But I like doing a 1-7 model, because then every 4 years, I feel like it makes things fresher from as far as like seeing different teams. Now, sometimes you might get stuck with a harder schedule than others. That's the way the cookie crumbles. But getting the switch flipped where we're playing half the league for 2 years, we're playing the other half of the league for the other 2 years. That's fun to me. That's exciting. You get to do the whole. I mean, if you want to do every SEC road trip, you can do it in 4 years' time. So I like that. It just feels a lot cleaner cut, less convoluted. And Luckett's got kind of how that might look coming up on the website a little bit later tonight. South Carolina makes sense as
Well, you just kind of go down the rivalries like Alabama, Auburn have to play. Texas, Oklahoma, I think would be the first one over Texas. A&M.
Yeah.
Florida, Georgia, the cocktail party would be the number one.
Yep.
Egg Bowl. That's 4 games right there.
Iron Bowl.
Iron Bowl already did.
But Tennessee, they just give them Vandy?
They would just give them Vanderbilt, I think, in that scenario.
Yeah.
You would keep the in-state. You would keep the close ones. And then Kentucky would kind of just be linked, I think, with South Carolina. Then you would have Arkansas, like Missouri, LSU, A&M, something around those long. I think the big point is a player plays 4 years in the league. He's going to play in every venue. He's going to play every team at least twice. That's the pro of that structure. The con is there's a lot of secondary rivalries that wouldn't be yearly anymore. They would be every other series.
Yeah.
So like Georgia, Auburn, who've been playing for forever. Tennessee, Kentucky, been playing every year forever.
Yeah.
I think the last time they didn't play was like what, World War I, World War II?
Something like that, yeah.
So like you have a lot of rivalries like that. Alabama SEC has kind of been the face of the league in a lot of ways. I would say the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
That would become every other year game. Alabama, Tennessee is, a huge rivalry or a huge game. Even though it's been, at times, depending on the era, a one-sided rivalry. Mm-hmm. That would be in every... So Texas A&M, like you just got Texas A&M back. You would be shifting that to every other year. So are you willing to do that? I think what would happen is they would kind of finagle it. Like they would kind of protect the secondary rivalries and just figure out how to shuffle everything else. And it would open a can of worms, I think, because you're trying to protect other teams, you're hurting other teams, and then unbalanced schedules, and people could be mad from that. I think eventually, like you kind of have to go to 9 because that is the most, I think, even way.
Do you have to?
I think you do. I think you do. If you're going to have a 16-team conference, I think you almost have to play 9 games.
Well,
the math just works out better of you playing everyone, and you can protect
math.
And you can protect these secondary rivalries that I think are really important in the league because you would have 3 permanent opponents instead of 1 permanent opponent.
You been doing any math lately?
We do math every day.
Do we?
Yeah.
That's ChatGPT. You just call them up. Peak. Now this is where you come in.
Okay.
So this is where we get a little bit silly. I did not know how ChatGPT. That guy. He's popular, And when I say he, it's because I did not realize this, but
Peak has a twin.
It is so weird. It is so weird because I will type in a prompt and it might create a table for me. Peak, why don't you bring your ChatGPT over here?
Oh, you want me to talk to it?
Yeah. We're going to talk to him for a minute. Why don't you just sit down here, take off the microphone.
Ask him what he thinks of 11 personnel.
Yeah.
Okay, Chat, what do you think of 11 personnel?
Did you mute him?
I'm muting my mic. This will be the one time where it doesn't work. It's so flawless, but you bring me up
Well,
here.
you also we put your chat on the spot. He was amazing us last night. Now he doesn't know anything.
Hey, Chat, what do you think of 11 personnel on KSR?
I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble responding right now.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'll work out the kinks in the
It's
background.
a licensing issue.
Yeah.
It's not approved. We're not paying the licensing agreement for it.
Let's see. We'll try one. What do you think of Nick Roush on KSR?
Nick Roush is a pretty great presence at KSR. He's got a lot of knowledge and a fun personality, and he definitely brings a lot of energy to the coverage. Plus, I'm sure working with him is a lot of fun.
He knows we work together. What?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I would argue all of that is debatable.
Can you tell us how motivated?
Correct.
Chat, how motivated do you think Mark Stoops is this season?
I imagine he's pretty motivated. After a tough offseason. He's probably eager to prove himself and get the team back on track. Coaches at that level thrive on competition, so I bet he's ready to tackle the challenge head on.
He's motivated.
Oh, you heard it here first. We may have had a few cocktails last night, and Peak started asking his chat GPT. I can't do GPT. He was asking his chat stuff, and he was talking back and saying uhs and ums. Really freaked us out. That wasn't the wildest thing that happened though last night. Lucky, you're a pretty good ball coach.
I try.
It was very fun watching.
I led Pete to a Kentucky win over Tennessee. You just got to stay patient on defense.
It was very fun watching Peak. He's picking the plays, but he's asking like, "Oh no, Lucky, pick this one." We were the backseat coaches while Peak was playing the video game, which was a lot of fun. Yeah, we were the coordinators, and having. I think Peak learned something too, because you were telling him on certain plays which guy you're reading, doing little pre-snap reads, see where the safeties are rolling. I think he got smarter.
I think we could do a tutorial.
Oh, we do a little. There we go. That could be something for the YouTubes. Right, we're on YouTube. We can do some streaming.
60,000 subs. Here we come.
Just got to start streaming. That's the key. We gotta stream more college football video game. That's what gets the people going.
Yeah, he did the NBA 2K. Now he needs the college football 2026. I know people have been asking him if you're going to do that, Peak. I think people really like the simulation. I mean, it kind of went pretty close to how the season almost played out. The first 5 or 6 games.
The Southern Miss game almost losing was people were very upset. Surprisingly, stuff you can learn from video games. As far as other just randomness from the trip so far, I got in before you guys. I was hanging out with some family previously. And so, you get there, you're trying to get a lay of the land, and I got to do my radio show. So I'm just trying to find somewhere to do it. And this place is very big. It's very spread out. There's a lot going on. And there's one area that looked pretty nice on the Digital Drive, which is essentially the museum, where all the museum exhibits are at the College Football Hall of Fame on the second floor. They just got all the radio shows up there. We aren't paying an arm and a leg to do our one show up there. So I'm trying to, all right, let's find maybe I can find a place up here. But what area? It's got all these Xboxes and the college football game there. And I'm like, I don't know if I should be here. So instead I went somewhere else. It was an area that looked official. There was logos and stuff everywhere, but it was a corner of the hotel nobody was using. So I was like, all right, I'll set up shop here. Internet's good. We're good to go. Eventually, some TV people started showing up to stand-ups like it, and I don't think they liked that I was there.
Yeah, I think you could be known to yell during your radio show.
Oh, me? Loud?
Fired them up.
Never loud. But I mean, I went 90 whole minutes before some Johnny Pretty Boy went and tattled on me. That was the part that annoyed me, Luckett. If you are saying I'm too loud, and just talk to me. I'm an adult. He had to go tattle on me to somebody in the SEC who came over and looked like I was a child that he was going to scold. Buddy, I'm an adult here. Yeah, you can't be here. They can't do your jobs because you're being too loud. You know what their jobs are? Talking. You know what everybody else is doing around here? They're talking. We're all talking about football. What the hell is your problem? So, I got kicked out of my radio show halfway through. And then
make a strong first impression.
Yep. And then today I just couldn't get internet while doing the radio show where I was supposed to be doing it. So it's been an adventure trying to figure things out. We had DeAndre Liggins on the show today.
How'd that go? I heard it was an adventure.
It was a great interview. I mean, I cannot believe what DeAndre Liggins said. You got to go back and listen to the podcast because he said, "Whew, some doozies in there."
Well. Getting back to media days, I will say this, Nick, from just our perspective, there's nothing Kentucky. You wouldn't even know Kentucky's in a conference.
Yeah.
Which I think you kind of expected, but it's proof that Mark Stoops' no headlines mantra.
It's working.
It's worked because they are not even a blip.
And even, talking with our guy JD Piquel, that's going to be on the YouTube channel later. Even when you kind of get people going down that road, they're not going to travel on it because it's what are we talking about here? It's Kentucky, right? Who do you think is So let's try to rank the teams being talked about the least. Is it Kentucky or Mississippi State?
It's those two and then Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri's up there because Missouri is boring. They're just like, oh, you play.
They had these 2 big years, but they lost all the recognizable players.
And they still play this really light schedule, so you expect them to be good, but just like.
Which I think Drinkowitz is going to come out and probably be a little feisty.
Oh, can't wait to hear that. Yeah, those would be the bottom 3, and
then weirdly, like I would say, A&M is almost the next one. Wouldn't you say? They're a tier above, but I would say they're probably.
Yeah.
Maybe Florida. I don't know.
Arkansas. Yeah, you can't.
Arkansas. Oh yeah, Arkansas would be with Missouri. I would say yeah, the Hogs. I forgot.
But it's Kentucky's in a weird place right now. It's not very fun, but time to go make some headlines, Mark Stoops. Time to show them how motivated you are.
But okay, let me ask you this: I'm very interested. I guess is what I'm trying to say is. How does he take the motivated questions? I'm gonna ask him, like, why was this no headlines mantra that you started last year and is carried into the offseason?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why was that so important? Because that was I think we look back now months. That was like almost their credo, right? Like that was they could have slapped that on the football building.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was their motto, really, kind of for 8 months.
The team works out in blue collar shirts. Mark Stoops, he wears I don't want to make a headline.
So
shirt.
is he gonna maybe elaborate why that is, or is he gonna give be mum as a word? I guess still about what the team's gonna be this year.
I think part of it is. When it came to how bad things went last year, it would do him no good throwing people under the bus, so he's just not. But B, I think a lot of it is he wants to convey this message that I mess it up, I'm going to fix it. I am. Me, I got this. Don't put it on anybody else. The buck stops here. And I think for a lot of fans that they want to do that, they want to put the onus on Stoops. It's just the way that he explains how he's going to fix it. There's not a clear. It's culture, which is the most loaded.
It's like lunch pail.
Exactly.
Hard work.
Right. That doesn't say a lot, but I mean. That was what was so weird about listening to Vanderbilt yesterday, because Clark Lee and Mark Stoops, they talk much differently, they speak much differently, but they're both pretty boring. It was
general message is kind of the same.
But the messaging though is, because that's how you have to win when you're Kentucky or Vanderbilt in this league. You have to win within very slim margins by playing tough, hard-nosed, physical football and not shooting yourself in the foot. And boy, have they been shooting themselves in the foot a lot recently.
Lee has even talked about this, and I think he's even said he's had conversations with Stoops, kind of like the ball control style, running the football, winning games that way. It's kind of what he modeled, like how this Vanderbilt rebuild was kind of how Kentucky did theirs.
Yeah.
And so that's not surprising. I'm interested to just hear the messaging. Like, what is the messaging? Because now it's time, like it's go time, right?
Yeah. There's no headlines. Like, it's time to.
What does he think about the memes? Like, I mean, that's hard. And what do the players think about it, right? Because that's impossible to avoid in our algorithm. I think, like, outside of the league and other people's algorithm, I don't think a lot of people are aware of it. But locally, it's a huge.
Oh, you can't ignore it.
If you're online, like it's huge. If you're online at all, you've seen it and you know what's going. Like that's been kind of just the unofficial kind of slogan of Kentucky football in 2025.
We need that on the schedule poster so badly.
Well, I think part of you've seen kind of LaDainian Washington and Derek Shea kind of lean into it on Twitter.
Make it happen. Just do it, because that's the other part is when you hear from players after their coaches talk, there is a sort of pep talk on the way in. Like, this is how we're going to do, mention this. Vanderbilt's one was, we're this close from being 10-2 or 2-10. That was their sort of bit. So I do wonder from that regard what it's going to be. But at the same time, I mean, do they just keep resting on their laurels at this point, right? Because a lot of
could very well do. That might be the clubhouse favorite.
I think a lot of the why too, Luckett, to get back to the original question, why? Because Stoops is going to get what is Stoops going to say that's going to convince Johnny Wildcat that they're going to be better this year? It's hard for him to use his words.
Sure.
I think the biggest thing that he has to do when he shows up Thursday morning, going to be talking at 10:50 on the SEC Network, is it's not necessarily the words. He can't come out whining anymore. But I think that was the weirdest thing about last year was the guy who used to be Youngstown tough and it didn't matter. He was going to fight his way out of it. Was just complaining nonstop about his job.
Yeah.
And he didn't sound like that same kind of guy. So just go out and give us some.
Just get on the podium.
He's Lou Ferrigno's Hulk.
Yeah, just come out like Toolman up there. Yeah, I'll just be. That'll be interesting, and it's Thursday, and Thursday will be a little crazy, and it'll be, it gets pretty empty on Thursday.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people's travel day.
Speaking of empty, my belly's getting a little empty. What else we got on the docket, Mr. Luckett? I wrote some things down, but they don't always stay in my head. It's been a long day or something. Oh, Nick Saban. Where's he coaching next year?
He's coming to take over from Mike Tomlin.
No. Because you could see it on my face, me bargaining but that's another one of my favorite kind of stories. Just a little red meat to throw out on day one at SEC Media Days is Greg McElroy. I wouldn't put it out there, but somebody I really trust who really is in the know says that he's possibly contemplating returning to college football, and that made my day. I enjoyed that very much, and I also enjoyed all of the other Saban guys getting asked about their thoughts on him returning, and Kirby Smart saying, "Well, I asked him if he wanted Muschamp's job, but he was a little overqualified."
Yeah, that was good.
But is Muschamp just quitting? What? He was the co-DC, right?
That's what it kind of sounded like.
And he's not. He's
His
just.
son is like a walk-on quarterback at Vanderbilt, or maybe like a backup.
So he just
wants to go watch Diego Pavia play football this year.
Got to check out the new suites at First Bank. Yeah.
Evan Hampton was kind of the other big story. Flips from Louisville to Vanderbilt. That was the Owensboro running back that Kentucky pretty much kind of got cold on after seeing him camp last year. He's the second number 2 player in the state, so that was a big commit. Louisville loss.
He's very good. I don't know why Kentucky didn't go all on him. That was disappointing. Oh, the other thing that was really important we needed to get to? You'll never believe this, Luckett, but we almost had an absolute disaster at the Omni. While I was over in electronic media getting ready to get kicked out by Johnny TV, they were supposed to serve lunch at 11:30. Was there any lunch there? No. 11:45. Still no lunch. Nowhere to be found. We're still setting it up. It's not ready. Give us 10 minutes. 10 minutes later, was there still lunch like it? Those poor starving media members, I don't know how they were ever going to survive.
Nothing is as bad as when we were at the Combine and they ran out of Diet Coke. No, you tell me that, and I don't that's like a nothing to me. But when they ran out of Diet Pepsi,
I mean, people were legitimately pissed, and at least in this
yelling, grown men visibly upset,
screaming, "How do you not have Diet Coke?"
Slamming the cooler tops, handful of ice, just throwing it down on the table.
Oh, that was pure anger.
Slamming.
The food, at least the people who do the catering that worked at the hotel, were like, they told us 12:30, it was 11:30, so people were patient. But it is funny. You just don't mess with the media's food, don't mess with their Diet Coke, and most importantly, don't mess with our coffee. I'm talking to you, Groverfield. Don't mess with it. Whatever that was at the spring game, that was not coffee. I don't know what that was. That was horrendous. Anyway, that was my last big story that I needed to get to.
We might have to bring in a Keurig next year, Nick Roush. Got to say happy birthday to my wife, Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're on Twitter, just go see. You'll see my tweet. Just reply to that. Tell her happy birthday. She's letting me come down here and give y'all all the good football coverage you want.
All right, so that begs the question: who's in the bigger doghouse? Luckett's not there for Taylor's birthday, or Kirby's not there for him and his wife's anniversary?
Yeah, me and Kirby are like kindred spirits. There's a couple of football guys. Gotta go to a convention center in some random big size town in the South.
Well,
At
least his wife has something fun to do. She gets to go to a baseball tournament. What does Taylor get to do to celebrate her birthday?
I think she got to go shopping today.
Ooh, watch a little
kids are at daycare.
11 personnel too.
Watch a little 11 personnel,
That's
right.
a heck of a night. You get to watch the pod. So, shout out Taylor. Shout out to my wife who is chasing our kids all around Atlanta. Good job, honey. You're doing great.
Fun times.
Yeah, which we've been having some fun. We're gonna have more fun tomorrow. It's a little bit chaotic, and my brain's a little frizzle frazzled. But we'll have a couple Cokes. We'll reset, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. Thanks to our friends of Cull and Monticello Bank, two great sponsors getting us here to Atlanta for SEC Media Days. He's Adam Luckett. I'm Nick Roush. Go Cats.